What if I told you that I actually went to the dump, tried to find a table that got thrown out? And here I am in a pair of jeans and button-down shirt, talking to a head of the dump, trying to convince him to let me go in and try and find a table that was thrown away. What if I told you that table didn't even belong to me? In fact, what it was when my local Starbucks decided to change the decor. It was a table that I sat at that I built two companies at with a team of people. And it had such good juju that I was upset and convinced the manager of the Starbucks to actually send me where the dump was. And I tracked the guy down. The guy thought I was absolutely insane. He's probably right. But that brings to a point something that I've recognized over a period of time, that especially entrepreneurs need a third space. Need a space that is created just to be able to get some work done. For me, it was a table at Starbucks. And in fact, I had my teammates who were in the East Coast. We would meet at the Starbucks once a month to be able to figure out what was going on. It was one of the best places to get work done for me, to the point where my assistant would occasionally meet me there like once a week so that I could just occupy that table and get work done. That table generated two companies that generated over $13 million in product, and I wanted to have that table. Now, regretfully, I never could find it. The guy wouldn't let me on the dump, and he basically already mulched all of the tables. But I actually spent the day trying to find it. What if I told you Starbucks didn't build a $140 billion empire by selling coffee? They did it by selling belonging, and your business could do that too. While your competitors fight over product features and pricing, Starbucks has captured 40% of the market by creating a third place between home and work. What percentage of your market are you losing by selling products instead of creating experiences? Businesses have become a third place to a 300% higher customer lifetime value and 85% lower marketing costs. Every day you operate as just another store or service, you're leaving thousands in recurring revenue on the table. The gap between being a business and becoming a destination is costing you more than just sales. It's costing you cultural relevance. And if you disagree with, stop into any local coffee shop and watch what goes on. If they're good, they're recognizing their regulars by name, they're recognizing their regulars by their order. They're creating a place where they can sit and have a conversation. Starbucks, on the other hand, takes it to the next level, understanding that their regulars are people who are important to them and they start to feel like family. Starbucks created an entire conversation around whether you're part of the community or not by how you order your coffees. If you look at the Italian words for each one of the sizes, they make no sense, but they make sense because you're able to just give the order in the order that it's done, and you've already been recognized at any Starbucks in the world that you're part of that community. It's brilliant. And each one of the tables and areas that you're in is specifically designed to feel like you're part of the community. In my local Starbucks around here, there are round tables so that you don't feel like you're only alone. There are lower tables so that you can see more people. There's a community that's built around it. Now, I've got another coffee shop that I absolutely love, and I go meet people there for coffee. It's frankly better coffee, but it's not as well set out. The tables are more insular. They're designed for people to sit around and talk, which was perfect for them. But they have students who are in there who don't understand that reading this menu and having conversations with the people who are buying the coffee is more important than selling the coffee. The coffee will sell itself. Caffeine is an amazing drug. I go there for coffee because it's a lovely place to have coffee. But I go to Starbucks because it's a community and it's a place where people can be. And that gives me the ability to really understand where I am and gives me focus to be able to focus on what I'm doing. I probably go to Starbucks about once a week to do work. For example, I was writing this script in the Starbucks to make sure that I have community, to feel like there's a third place where I can go. We as entrepreneurs don't have those third places. For example, I work at home. So the home is one place that I live, sleep, eat, and breathe, as well as work. Occasionally getting out of that, having a community and feeling that connection is something that's incredibly powerful. Now, if you don't understand this and take this into your business, what are you doing? How are you creating community within your organization? How are you creating a third place? Is it by recognition? Is it by a private group? Are you creating tribes of your people? Now, if you're on the online business, this is one of the most important things you can do, is creating a lexicon. And this lexicon is all the things that you use on a regular basis that you talk about, so that anyone in your community can shortcut a conversation by saying X, Y, and Z. In my family, there's a tremendous number of these shortcuts that show that you're part of this family group. One of which is invariably if someone's saying, yes, I'm going to get to that. Yes, I'm going to be there. Yes, I'm going to be there. But they don't go anywhere. The entire family has this big smile on their face and say, Taren Tara, Taren Tara, Taren Tara, which is a reference to a Gilbert and Sullivan play called The Pirates of Penzance, where the police come in there. They say they're going to do something and never do. That's a small example of a verbal cue that allows people to recognize that there is shortcut conversation, as well as recognize that people are there. The more you get into these conversations, the more you have this wording and verbiage and place that people can feel belonging to, the more you're going to create community, the more you're going to create areas. As with Starbucks, as with the Cockney accent out of the United Kingdom, where there are a group of individuals in a small little island that have changed their language into a rhyming slang, so that only people who understand it can actually understand what they're saying. Now, I had the advantage of working with one of these gentlemen when I was actually in Oxford, and he would say, would you get on the dog and bone? And I had to look at him like he was out of his mind. And he says, dog and bone, telephone. What he was saying is pick up the telephone. But he was indoctrinating me into his community, into his way of thinking, into his way of conversation, as saying to me, you're part of my crew now. You're part of my community. Here, learn my culture. So if you are having an online or offline group, if you're having people who want to be part of your community, creating a third space, maybe it's physical, but it also could be intellectual, to create that kind of understanding, to create that kind of community is absolutely vital. You can see how communities start by having conversations, and as soon as they start having conversations, they recognize whether they're part of that community or not. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to think about all of the areas that you can create a third space, either physically, emotionally, or intellectually for your clientele. Give them the ability to feel like they're part of a community, whether that is in language, whether that is in private Facebook communities, whether that's in private websites, all of which bring them together and they feel like they belong. As soon as they feel like they belong, they're going to be more interested in what you're having to say. They're going to be more interested in what you're doing. They're going to be more interested in all of the things around. And there is when you start coming up with your phraseology. Come up with a lexicon. Come up with a list of things that you use on a regular basis. And use those not only to identify yourself, but to identify the community. Give them the stories behind it. Give them the ideas and how they work. And if that's something that you're interested in, you should actually start creating that immediately and use the words that you use on a regular basis. This is one of the 10 things that I teach one of my clients. And there's 10 secret rules that I use on a regular basis. So if you'd like, check the link below and there's a URL to the 10 secrets that I use. And one of those is creating that community. So what I'd encourage you to do is write that down and start using it on a regular basis. Do me a favor, write down one of your favorite phrases and what it means down there. Share it with some other people so they get some other ideas. This is a community that is great and is growing together and is amazing. So I look forward to seeing those, and I look forward to continuing our conversation. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode on the Strategy Session, where we take your business from stuck to unstoppable. Here's another video I think you'd enjoy. If you found these insights valuable, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for notifications on our latest videos. Want to transform your business with expert strategies? Schedule your strategy session today by clicking the link in the description below. Remember, you're not just marketing, you're making history with Venture Gained. See you in the next video.